was a man who vied for Defensive Player of the Year in Independence. His name was Preston Hadley. He used to play at BYU, and now he's coaching at BYU. He is back as the safeties coach from Weber State. Preston, welcome back to Studio B.
Man, I appreciate it, fellas. It's good to be back, man.
We go back a ways because we played intramurals together. We talked about that team that got disqualified in the semis because of Zach Brady's brother, who wasn't eligible. He didn't live in a BYU. But we had quite the run.
If Zach didn't get all the personal fouls, we would have had an
cards.
issue. Yeah,
and then he'd come over and they'd say, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Say one of our names."
Yeah.
You know?
I think I even had like 3 or 4 yellow cards, and
that you never got.
Yeah, I took the bullet for him. So it is what it is. Though,
competitors compete. Okay, we leave the passion on the field. Are you still as invested in Clash of Clans as you were when we were in Miami at the Miami Beach Bowl talking about that?
I regret to say I've toned it down a little bit. I still have my clan, but fortunately I've found other things to occupy my time in the meantime. So,
like coaching.
Yeah, coaching and coaching. Coaching, yeah.
Let's talk about your path here because you played at BYU on that 2012 defense as a senior that was fantastic. And you said on Pro Day the following. Let's play the clip.
Man, I want to end up back here at BYU, Coach Hadley. So my major is communications, and so eventually I want to try and get involved in the program here, get into coaching. I love the game. It's tough to stay away from it. So I'm just hopefully I can get like a graduate assistant job down the road or some internship here, and just try and stay close to the program, and then just get in and work my way in, and then just keep the BYU tradition going.
You're back now. After that, like you went the JC route, you went FCS for a couple of years, and now a kid from PG that didn't get to BYU out of high school went to Snow. Now you're back. What's that like to watch that clip and now be the safeties coach here?
It's a pretty sweet deal, and it's a similar thing happened. Even back on my mission, I said I was going to play here, and I did. And you just self-fulfilling prophecies, man. You got to believe in yourself and take chances, take shots. My mantra with all my players back at Weber State and something I hope to bring here is just shoot or shoot. You got to take chances and catch some breaks along the way. But yeah, I'm really happy to be back.
New BYU safeties coach Preston Hadley in Studio B. When did coming back to coach at BYU first pop up on your radar as a reality?
I think it was back a couple weeks ago, probably about a month ago, just the end of December, where I was contacted, and they just mentioned the opportunity of possibly coming back. It was actually the first one to contact me was Gennaro. And Gennaro and I have been really close, especially over these last few years. And anyways, he had just told me, like, hey, you should probably get your stuff ready for an interview. I'm like, well, all right, And anyways, I didn't, I just kept working. And then, a couple more weeks passed by, and he's like, actually, you might not even have to interview. And anyways, then another week passed by, and then Coach Tuaki, he just called me, and he just offered me the position to come here. So I was like,
so you didn't have to interview for it? You just got it?
I think he's crazy for not, but we'll see, man. Like,
you let your resume do the talking with Weber State.
Well, and it goes back, like, we had great coaches up there, great players. Coach Hill, we were led by a great guy, and I think we were all beneficiaries of just the program up there. So credit to the people I was surrounded by. Really though, that's what it's about. So I was fortunate, man.
Tell us about that run with Weber State, not just last year, but this year. You guys make it to the quarters. You almost take down North Dakota, right? They make a field goal at the end, but you guys had this incredible run. All of a sudden, Fessy, Satake's here, you're here, maybe others. We'll see. How much did working for Jay Hill and being on that staff affect kind of your life and your career here?
Well, again, back to Coach Hill. He's, in my opinion, he coached DBs a really long time at the University of Utah and did it really well. And in my opinion, I think he's one of the best DB coaches in the whole country. And I'm not just saying that to be biased or anything. I truly believe that. But, having the opportunity to come and be mentored by him, where he really he really just taught me how to be a coach, and also, from my time as a graduate assistant for Coach Menahall and working for guys like Coach Hal, I learned a lot from those guys as well. And just really coming in with Coach Hill, just a different way of doing things, it was huge. It was the game changer for me, at least, in my development as a coach. I mean, I still have a long ways to go, and I'm still just a young coach, but I feel like I have a great foundation from those I've been surrounded by as well. So
you have a very versatile defensive backfield. Like, there's some fluidity back there, and guys are capable of moving positions, and who knows what's going to happen when it comes to game number one, who runs out there and who's going to see reps. But how much do you know about the group that you inherit right now?
Well, fortunately, it was only 3 years ago that I left here as a graduate assistant. So a lot of these guys who are here now are guys who I was involved in their recruitment, guys like Troy Warner, guys like Diane, Zane, so some of those guys I even hosted as a player host. I mean, Gavin Fowler, he's been here for 8 years, it feels like, and pulled out every shirt in the closet, and I love Gavin. Me and Gavin played together, like I played with Tanner.
I was going to ask you if there was someone you had played with.
Yeah, so I was, I told Gavin, hey, you can call me coach now, man. Just call me coach,
Respect.
So that's been nice, just already having that relationship with some of the guys prior, and then, guys like Isaiah Armstrong, who is a big ball potential in my opinion. I've been able to get to know him, and Austin Lee and Tanner Jacobson. Tanner Jacobson, I played with McKay, his older brother. So there's different ties, into the group. So which has been really nice in building that relationship with the players, because we all know, like, coaching and athletics, it's all about relationships. So it's been a relatively smooth transition in just getting acclimated with the group, and I've just been watching film from last season and trying to get a really good idea on who's capable of doing what.
What was last season like for you, watching BYU go 4-9? You're hoping they do better. Now you're a part of this group. What was that like for you, and what is that like for you?
Man, like, once a Cougar, always a Cougar, and from watching from afar, and I didn't get to watch a ton of the games because we had our own games, but in the little I was able to watch, you feel for them and you hurt with them. It's a fraternity that you're a part of. And so to be able to come in and try and contribute to the cause, it's like, I'm honored for the opportunity. Whether, I don't know how big of a difference me individually I'll make. Hopefully I can help, and I think I can help the situation. And, because we got good players, we got good coaches, the organization is great. We just got to put it all together. And, I really believe that we're going to be able to put something special together this year. I really do believe that.
What kind of a defensive backfield philosophy and culture are you trying to create along with Gennaro Guilford?
Really, my goal is to really implement that same mindset that I played with as a player. That's how I was coached. That's the mindset that my coaches developed in me, and I believe in that, in being tough, being physical, being smart. Like, I'll be the first to tell you, there was first-round draft picks I had to cover that I did, not because I was a first-round caliber player, but just that mindset. There's that little something extra inside of you, and that's what I hope to instill in the guys. And a lot of the guys have it, or if not all of them already, but trying to magnify and amplify that. So really just that mindset. And just coaching guys who love football, and just guys who are all in for the team, and just it's gonna be a good journey, man. Like, I'm excited.
That 2012 defense that you played on, we were just showing some highlights of that. Can we talk about how amazing that defense was? To me, this is one of the best defenses ever.
I'd love to talk. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, NFL guys. Let's talk about the NFL guys in there. Daniel Sorensen, Ziggy Ansah, Spencer Hadley, Kyle Van Noy. Oh, by the way, playing for a Super Bowl. Wona Kavenga had a shot in there for a little bit. Wani Unga, Bronson Kafusi, Alani Fua, among others. That was a heck of a defense. That was a heck of a. There's no question here. I just wanted to say that, I guess. Yeah,
great teams and great units consist of great players, and I think from top to bottom, I thought we were very, very talented. I want to say at one point 9 of the 11 starters on that unit ended up in some sort of NFL camp, which isn't always the case in.
And you were with the Seahawks for a little bit.
Yeah, I was just there just long enough to enjoy a cup of coffee.
A cup of Postum.
Yeah, I mean a cup of hot chocolate. We'll say that.
Preston Hadley with us on BYU Sports Nation, new safeties coach for BYU. What was the best lesson you picked up once you left being a graduate assistant at BYU?
Man, there's a lot of lessons. Honestly, like what I've learned is coaching it's not about the X's and O's. Like that's going to sort itself out. It's about getting the most out of your guys, and the better you get to know your guys, the better. It just simple lessons in leadership. Just the better you get to know your guys, the more that they know that you're willing to grind for them, to fight for them, to work for them. Because any coach will tell you that coaching it's a serving profession, and when the guys know that you care about them, and you're not always going to relate perfectly to guys. Like I had the opportunity to coach kids from very different backgrounds than myself, and the way that you relate to them and find success is just they got to know that you care about them, and when they do know, you can push them harder. So that's a lesson I think I learned. It's just life is all people, and it's just your relationships. I read in a book once, it's your relationships first with God and then with each other, and so it's all about that. And then the X's and O's that will work itself out. As kids aren't going to want to learn from someone that they don't like or trust. So that's where it starts. So that's probably the lesson that the greatest lesson I've learned so far since leaving BYU, and just finding ways to relate to kids from all different backgrounds, especially one that you're not from.
Preston, you've come a long way from co-presenting with me at the Y Awards in 2014.
We had a good run, man. We had a good run. Hopefully it's not the last time.
Yeah, mark it down. We know some people that might be able to make that happen.
Make a couple calls to the guys up top, man.
Preston, it's great to have you. Welcome back to BYU. We would love for you to sign our new flag, even though it's got 1 million signatures on it. You haven't signed the new flag.
We need this.
All right. He's back. Preston Hadley, coaching the safeties, along with Gennaro Guilford, who was with the cornerbacks. That's quite a tandem there.
Good to have him back. One of the greatest PG Vikings ever. You know what I'm saying?
Along with Lauren McLean.
Yes. And Zach Brady.
Preston, thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Good to see you. We'll see plenty of Preston around playing pickup and instrument. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Yes,
Clash of Clans, maybe. We'll see. Hey,